in the room have very kindly allowed us to use them as just very quick case studies, just to apply what we've discussed in terms of actually what's people in the room. So Matt's not here at the P Tracker, so I'll skip in for a second. Limitless Travel. Oh, I've got your name, sorry. Neve very kindly has agreed that we can look at her website. So I'll just escape here and go to. So if we consider what we've just been discussing, the fact that you get 6 to 8 seconds to give everybody that message above the fold, what's the most important thing you need people to take from your website? So in this case, it's great. It says who they are, Limitless Travel. What do they do? Accessible holidays for everybody. So bang, straight in, that's who you are, that's what you do. So I haven't got to work at finding what the company does. What are you looking for? A nice call to action. You've got 3 main things here: Great British Tours, European Beach Tours, European. So I assume those are 3 areas you're focusing on. Navigation. In terms of navigation, I would argue that if you go into Limitless, well, if you look at the meta description at the top, Disabled Holidays UK, if anything, you should probably have a tab that says Disabled Holidays UK, because as we were just alluding to, it's really important to get your keywords into the top. So you could even potentially have a drop down from there to say Great British Tours, European Beach Tours and European City Tours, because then you've got your keywords in there that Google can index easily and drive traffic to. So, but I'm not going to go into too much detail in each website because we haven't got time today, but just to say above the fold, it's a nice clear message. Probably look at the navigation structure.
How politically correct is the accessibility? In terms of
English now.
Well, because it's accessible holidays is for disabled, yeah? Yeah. So when people come to the website, accessible, does that portray?
It's for people not only with disabilities but limited mobility. It sort of covers a lot of areas.
So how can you get that terminology across where it's,
Food for thought, isn't it?
because what you could do is there's various keywords tools, Google keyword tool, and you can look for the ones which are most searched around that space. Because to me, it doesn't quite hit you as much as it should, as it is for people with limited mobility. People, when they visit a website, want to find straight away what they're looking for. So if you Great British Tours for people with limited mobility, even, but around that to make it a bit more exactly what you do.
So it is.
But generally, it's a good site.
Yeah. Matt's now back in the room. We'll pick on you. Again, very kindly agreed to let's look at your website. So this site hasn't gone live yet. Matt was saying it's in development, and as he said, he's inherited the website. So hopefully we can give you some bits and pieces.
So what the first to see it? It's fantastic.
Yeah. And I have said to Matt, is he okay if I'm honest? So given what we've been discussing, it doesn't really tell you what they do. There's interesting images going across. It says who they are. It doesn't say what they do. There's a sort of blanked out or whited out transparent at the top, which makes it a little bit hard to read against some of the imagery. In terms of the navigation, you've got that hangover then, the hangover photo.
That's a very Freudian slip.
Exactly, yes. It's only outside, much better than Hamburg. But again, once you've gone into that we call it mobile menu, you've got your products there. So I've had to go into 3 clicks now to find your keywords and key management, asset management, consumables. So in an ideal world, you should have your main keywords right across the top of your website and not in a mobile menu.
Basically, because you're saying to Google, this is what's important to me as a business.
You downgrade your business if you have like services, and then underneath you have.
That's okay.
your-
That's
That's
okay.
okay.
So really, if you scroll down, this is great. Hello, how can we help? Brilliant. Very helpful, consumer friendly. If I scroll down, there you go. Key management systems and equipment management solutions. Whether that's worded right or wrong, who knows? But the point is that's a summary of what you do, and that really should be above the fold. Your image should be less deep, and you should have your H1 header, as we call it, across your
So,
image.
25% of people have gone.
Yeah, so
So
Yeah, exactly. So that heat test system, you've lost people already. So navigational structure, less of an image, more keywords. Why should they use you? What are the benefits of using you, if not your competition? So who are you? What do you do? Why should I use you? How do I navigate, etc.
But I imagine it works quite well on mobile. Would be.
yeah, I think that's what we, from what I understand, is that we've got the menu because obviously we've tried to make it mobile friendly. So actually, because we've taken it off the hands now, we're doing it in house.
Yeah.
It's actually changed it, so we've still got mobile friendly. Then obviously you've still got the listed.
Yeah.
Obviously the navigation as opposed
It's
to.
just we've just found that having your key products in that navigation structure benefits you massively from a search perspective.
Yeah.
You could also, as we were looking at earlier, industry sectors, you've got market sectors here, which is great, but you could go one step further, have a drop down on those and have property and estates, transport, but put your keywords in as well. So it
Yeah.
could be key management for transport, blah, blah. And then that way it's much easier to drive the traffic and for Google to index you and to bring you up higher in searches.
Okay. Brilliant.
But thank you, let me use your website as
That's
an
okay.
example. And we also have Make Sense Accounts, which again is a brand new website. Thank you to you as well. I think it's it's a good website. You've got a lot of white space going on there. You're sort of losing the opportunity to get some key marketing messages in there. Oh, I know him. But you know, fantastic paying hooks. Are you paying too much tax? How do overseas contractors work in the UK? So you're appealing to people that you are targeting, and you're giving them a hook, strap on there to focus. But yeah, in terms of the website, again, you've got your little your hangover menu, which I'm going to start calling it now. That really should be a navigation structure across the top. Do you know what platform the site's built in? Is it WordPress? Yeah. And Matt, what's yours built in?
The blog's built in WordPress,
Yeah.
which is kind of like a separate link.
Yeah.
The actual website itself, I'm not too
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Oops. That's when I clicked yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
What browser are you using?
I think we're in Chrome on this. Yeah.
That shouldn't be coming up like that. Normally, when you go onto that website, those words will cross the top.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so there's a good tip for you. When you do develop a website, make sure your developer checks the website different browsers, different, you know, it could work on a Mac and not on a desktop. So it's really important to check the website works on every situation.
So that's Chrome you're using.
It's Chrome here. But here you are, you've got contractor, startup, small business, Inward investment. We would argue that they should be above the fold. And you have got lots of space there to play with. So
And that's a complete waste of an H1 header. Because,
yeah.
especially if you've got something alluding to accountant, taxation experts or something like that, then you're bringing in the keywords into one of the best. After the navigation, that's the next best space you've got. No one will find you for our specialisms.
Yeah. You could also do with a call to action and maybe some social media links at the top. So thank you both, all three of you, thank you. We will be looking a little bit later as well at some marketing things, but thank you. Again, if anybody else in the room, if we've got time later, happy, if you're brave enough, we can pull your websites up as well, but we'll see how the time goes.
So we alluded to this earlier in terms of the margin. It's not just the products; it's the margin in your business. We've had this issue with the flooring contractor website we mentioned. We were promoting commercial flooring and industrial flooring until he told us he wasn't interested in commercial flooring, yet it was all over the website, which we inherited. And his margin happens to be in epoxy resin. So by promoting the terms epoxy resin more, he gets more traffic and more business, and his average orders have gone from like 4 grand when we started to about 50, 60 grand now. This is over about a 3 or 4 year period. Because he's focusing on what he does, and it's that the core margin in his business. The margin ultimately translates to profit, and profit converts to cash. So there is a layer beneath this. This other client here, which again we showed you earlier in terms of the navigation, 80% of their business is shim washers. It's bespoke shim washers. They want the emergency, a nuclear plant being built and they've run out of shipment, something's not quite right, so they need shims on an emergency basis, that type of thing. And by driving that and not competing with people who just supply shim washers off the shelf, again, his business has grown online significantly because we're driving, everything's about the margin and not just shim washers for 10p. You know, he's very specific within that subset. So if you can think about, again, your business, where the profit is in your business, where you make the most money, and make sure that is reflected as best it possibly can within the website. Google drives the peripheral terms of shim washers, which we'll show you how to do later.
Okay, so if you're looking at your content, a really good test is if you go onto Google, put your keywords in and your location, just see if you come up and who comes up in terms of your competition. Because if you think about it, if your competition coming up for your keywords and you're not, they're going to steal your business. So it's really easy test. Just key it in. I mean, I don't know if you do or not, but a lot of people don't. But it's just a good little test. So search your products and search by area. See where you're coming up. We have competitor software which we can use where we can actually see what your competitors are doing. So we can see what keywords they're using, whether it's organic, i.e. non-paid for keywords, or whether it's paid for PPC keywords. We can look at their traffic trends, we can see who's linking to their website, we can roughly measure how much they're spending on their traffic. And so if you wanted to target your competition, you can see what they're doing and you can put stuff in place to make sure you're coming above them in search. So really useful.
So we've removed pretty much all competition for shim washers except one by using this technique, by looking at the competitors' main traffic and then stealing it basically by diverting what they'll be getting 60% of their business from a key term. So this particular client moved into laser cutting because of this. So and very strategically, very tactically, just by understanding who your competitors are in your local space and knowing what traffic they're getting, what keywords they're using, very quickly you can divert that business to you.
Yeah.
Is that openly available software?
Yeah.
What is it?
SEMrush. SEMrush.
So just asking about the keywords. The keywords means like the keywords you put when you like design your
What's your business, remind me?
It's a cafe shop.
Cafe.
Yeah.
So if you were to have, I don't know, lunchtime, or did you take away food? I don't know. Give me a keyword that people might search for you. Coffee and cake, I don't know, whatever your...
Yeah. Is it the keyword with the words which will be in the menu or in the website on the page itself, or how does it work?
Yes, it's the keywords that you've chosen to target. So we've just been going on about navigational keywords. And we looked at Search Console. It's what Google's throwing up as your keywords for your website and where you position those on your website.
So you'll be a coffee shop or a cafe,
Yeah.
one of the two,
Yeah.
and then do you offer do you deliver sandwiches locally, or do you deliver?
Yeah. So is it the keywords like, for example, if you search falafel?
No.
So,
No.
so how does it? Is it the cafe, restaurant?
It's what
healthy?
people. If I was looking to find you to come to you, I wouldn't put falafel in because that wouldn't bring me to you. I would put in coffee shop in Harborne, or it's what people are searching for. Cafe in Harborne.
So is the keywords where the words you put when you design your website, or these any words they coming up in the menu? So
any website should be structured around its keywords.
Okay.
So if you're building a new website, you need to look at your keywords, do some analysis, what keywords are bringing in the most traffic, and structure your website around those keywords.
I think-
So which keywords we can put and which we can't?
It's up to you. What is your business?
You said you're a Mediterranean cafe,
Yeah,
didn't you?
it is.
So
Well, there you go.
There you
So
go.
the more niche, the better. The more niche, the better.
So you want to. Where are you based?
Harborne.
Fine, so you want Mediterranean cafe in Harborne, because that's what you are, and that's what people are going to search if they want to find you. The spin-off of the products you sell can be in the other further down the content of the site.
Yeah, but like a cafe or coffee shop is very weak keywords because there is lots of competition. So there is no point just to put.
But Mediterranean cafe in Harborne, how many are there?
Yeah, it's like a cafe. It's like lots of competition. I will not come on.
How many
because it's very weak.
How many Mediterranean cafes are there in Harborne?
No, but it's like most of the cafe shops they use the word Mediterranean all in their menu and they offer this food.
Not if it's not in the navigation. Costa wouldn't, Starbucks wouldn't. whatever your key point of differentiation is, that's what people are going to find. So you're a Mediterranean coffee shop based in Harborne. That has to be cafe based in Harborne, and that's what has to hit you when people come to your website, because that's how you differentiate yourself. Going back to my advertising days, there's a guy called Dave Trott, advertising God. If you're the market leader, grow the market. If you're not the market leader, differentiate yourself. So you've got no chance of taking on Starbucks or Costa, because for people coming in for the cafeteria. But anyone after the Mediterranean, you've got every chance. So you've got to differentiate yourself.
So if we jump back to our 3 case studies and look at some local search.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
What I want to know is the pay-per-click. You get a lot of customers go to pay-per-click. So what about if you don't pay-per-click? Do you still get clients come to your site? Is it the same drive that you get?
We're going to explain the two and the differentiation between the two in a second. Yeah.
So just jumping back to Limitless Travel, for example, if you look at the top there, their meta description at the top there is Disabled Holidays UK. Search in Google, and they are second because they're paying. So they've got disabledholidays.com at the top. Limitlesstravel.org is second, which is great. What they haven't got is any presence organically underneath. So they're okay, they're paying for traffic at the top. What would be good for you, Neve, is to get some organic traffic underneath that, so you're not paying every time someone clicks through. So that's all about the on-page search engine optimization, which we're going to cover off.
So that's making sure that those same keywords are on your homepage. So that keyword wasn't on your homepage. So if it was, you'd have a slightly better chance of being there for paid and therefore organically.
If we jump into
if you are using AdWords as you are, whatever keywords you're bidding on that are working, because you should be able to know what's going to the site or not, then you should be reflecting those organically. The two should marry up.
So just looking at tax planning Birmingham, because would that be a fair keyword for you? So,
Yeah.
So tax planning. So we're looking for MS accounts. .co.uk. So that's the paid for listings at the top with the little red ad there. That's your Google Maps. That's a quick and easy win actually. It should be on Google Maps.
Yeah, if you do it Perry Barks, that's where the office
Okay.
is based.
Yeah, okay. So looking there at Birmingham at Perry Bar. Is it BARR? BRM Thompson. So yeah, you could actually quite easily dominate this space in terms of.
The important thing with AdWords you've got to remember is Google want your money.
If you put accountants, we come up.
Accountants Perry Bar.
Yeah.
So they're not going to tell you, or they're not going to limit anything. But if you're a Mediterranean
Yeah.
cafe in Harborne,
Brilliant.
you should be focusing on a 5-mile radius of Harborne. So if you do pay per click and it's a 5-mile radius of Harborne, you don't want to spend money in Scotland. They're not going to come and visit you. And Google don't really tell you that.
So it's good coming top of maps there.
Yeah.
But again, you could have a quick win with some low-key AdWords and some organic. And then very quickly,
Quick question, while you were just talking about that.
yeah,
I know you said maps is a quick win really.
Yeah.
How do you, obviously if you think of Google Maps you can go in so far, can't you? And the further you go in, the more businesses pop up. So how do you get different levels? To say if someone typed in the West Midlands, the companies that are coming up there, how have they got into that position as opposed to when you have to go as close as you possibly can? So we say,
You have to leave that up to Google, but you type in, if you make sure that your description is keyword rich without keyword stuffing. So you'd make sure the first description is about key management software,
okay,
or key management system, sorry.
Yeah.
So you'd make sure that if someone's searching for key management system, you're going to come up for the area because Google know where you are.
okay, so they base it on where you are, then it's just
Yeah.
how rich you are in the
Yeah, there's a workaround that we've done because we've got digital agency White Forest, digital agency Black Country, digital agency Birmingham and stuff, which sort of helps
Okay.
in that space. But you've got to make sure that, like everything, your core business, your core margin is in that Google Maps description.
Okay.
So what keyword would you like to look for you?
Just key management, I suppose. It's
Yeah. So what you need to be trying to do is achieve that position again. So you've got, obviously if you put location in, the maps will come up, but yeah.
And again, you only need to do it for a 5-mile radius to begin with for your core keywords.
Okay.
There's no point, because it's not going to work for your core keyword 5 miles away from you. It's not going to work nationally.
no. Okay.
So that's a way of testing and not wasting loads of budget.
Okay.
Okay, so
Do word cloud works? Does,
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of tools which
Yeah.
you can apply a word cloud to your site and see how the site reflects. Google Search Console is the same, but fundamentally it's what do you want? Do you want people for tax, or do you want people for accountancy? Is 80% of your business accountancy for contractors? In which case,
no.
whatever it is, that's what you focus on. Isn't it?
So digital marketing is like painting the fourth rail bridge. It's never ending, and that's absolutely true. You get things in place, you do it, find out what works, test, measure, repeat. Something will always come along. What's happening today is going to change next month, next year. So it's really important to keep abreast of what the changes are, what's working, what's not working. But you know, following the formula as we've got there should give you enough return in order to measure and to keep investing in it to make sure it returns for you. On-page optimisation, just very briefly touch on this because of time now. We've talked about identifying your main keywords, your core proposition. What we do is we make sure that what you should do rather is make sure that your keywords are positioned on the page correctly, so that if you were at the top of a high street and there were no shop signs outside the shop, you wouldn't know what shop to go into. If your website's not indexed correctly, people don't know how to find your website. So if it's correctly positioned, the keywords, Google will reward you for having a well-indexed website, and they will lift you higher up organically, coupled with off-page optimisation, with blogging, with regular content to your keywords, will further lift you. So that's the on and off-page optimisation, coupled with site speed, which we've mentioned before, is important. So with the blog...
Can we just go back a second, sorry? So here, if we take Mediterranean coffee shop or Mediterranean cafe in Harborne, on your website, on the navigation, needs to be Mediterranean Cafe Harborne, and whatever the USP is, the Harborne's oldest, Harborne's highest quality, whatever the benefit is of you against your competition. We use a tool called Moz for this categorization. It's a pretty simple tool actually, but it helps you categorize everything correctly. You should work with your web developer or your website person, because it involves quite a lot of back-end stuff. But if you've optimised the site correctly for Mediterranean Cafe in Harborne, it needs regular content. So if you're blogging about falafel and everything else relating back to Mediterranean Cafe in Harborne and all the other products and services, and you're doing a blog every week, and you keep talking about Mediterranean Cafe Harborne and link to that page, then you're going to get to the top of search pretty quickly.
So blogging is important
Yeah.
as well.
Blogging's very
Blogging is great because if you blog for social media distribution, you deliver unique content. Google loves 3 things. You're working on your site regularly, so using a tool called Moz forces you to do that. It loves new content, so if you blog successfully and it's site speed, if you do those 3 things for a local business, you haven't got to worry about backlinks. I'm sure you've all heard about backlinks and SEO. What we're seeing as a result of Google's artificial intelligence tool, backlinks are becoming less important. And if you're blogging new content, you're updating your site regularly, and your site speed's okay, you'll get to the top of search pretty locally very quickly.
So what is the best way to blog in? Is like is it a very short, brief things, or
400 words. The more you do, the better. So there's a lot of research saying 2,000 words. So we work with Tom. He's just done a 2,000 word blog with all his keywords. But you obviously haven't got time to do that. But if you've got special offers or there's special events or there's Marie Curie Cancer Week or something, there's all sorts of things which you can blog about that are current, things that are happening in Hardball and the Moseley Festival, that type of thing. If you're blogging about it and relating it back to your store and you're distributing it on social media, you're going to get traffic through social media and you're going to get moved up the search quite a lot.
So what do you mean by MOZ? What does that
MOZ.
MOZ.
It's a piece of software that structures your site correctly. So from a search perspective, update your site regularly, blog, and get your site speed sorted out.
So Mike's pretty much covered this next slide in what he's just said, but what we will show you is an example of a categorised blog. So you've heard of blogs, you've got blogs and that kind of thing, but to define your categories, which would replicate the navigational structure on your website, and to reflect that in your blog. So, for example, epoxy floor coatings, the client might say, we want to promote that, so to write blog content with those keywords structured correctly within the blog and linking that blog directly to that page on the website will also give you a huge organic boost. So that's just another little
That's
takeaway.
a huge takeaway. Can you just go to is that live?
No.
What do you mean, link the blog to the website? So it's already just
This
putting
blog's
the-
part of the website. You see the structure there, it's it's part of the website structure. It's a WordPress website, it's got a blog embedded, and the blog has got categories which are reflecting pages of the website, which are reflecting the main keywords and margins of the business.
So if you've got a page on your website saying
I have a blog on my site.
Okay, good.
So what
if you have a page on your website called Mediterranean Cafe, it's called Mediterranean Cafe, Google will know it's in Hardborn anyway. And every single blog you do, you have a link from the word Mediterranean Cafe back to that page. So you're linking from the blog back to that page. You're saying to Google, Mediterranean Cafe is really important to me. I'm based in Hardborn, it's on my navigation, and every time I blog about it, I drive people to that page. And every time you do it, that will move more up the rankings and more up the rankings because you're just communicating to Google saying, this is what I do, this is my core business, it's really important to me, and I want more traffic, thank you Google.
Can you show us just an example how
Of what, sorry?
how the blogging
You want to know how to link it, don't you?
It's not
Go to the
online,
live-
but
the
it's
live
like
site.
it is.
Which one?
We can come afterwards and I'll show you how to do it, okay?
Thank you.
Sorry, just quickly about the blogs. Is a blog, not having a blog the same as having like a news?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
But this is a really good tip here. If you can categorise your blog and post to those categories and link to that page, you can have a real boost.
Particularly as a local business who's differentiating themselves from the competition.
Mike mentioned Mars. This is just an example of what good regular blogging content to a well SEO website can do. Bumbles along here, and then suddenly Google realises that there's a lot of good quality blog content, and look, it just can completely hike your organic listing. So it works time and time and time again.
It takes 3 to 6 months, so you have to blog consistently, weekly, and after about 3 to 6 months, then it will start to just kick forward. That's
Are you
happened.
just literally putting that on your own website?
Sorry?
Are you literally just putting that on your own website, or are you then linking it to social media as well?
Oh no, you can link it to, you can include social media as well, but the core message to Google from an organic search perspective is, this is what's important to me.
So the
You
fact
know,
that
I'm a taxation specialist in Paribas, so every blog you do, taxation specialist Paribas, back to that page. And
right.
also you're communicating to Google algorithms. This is really important. You're updating your site, you're doing blogging regularly, they love it, and your site speed's okay, and they'll reward you with traffic.
So the fact that the last news article of mine was from 2014 probably is...
Absolutely, it's the reverse actually. They'll get absolutely hammered for that.
If I blog once a month, is that much? 1 week, I've
Okay.
tried it and it's a bit hard.
I know this for a fact because we've got a client that does this. They've blogged every single day, right? Every single day for a year. They got an intern in. So
That's where you hire a copywriter to do that.
they get foreign interns, and their traffic their business has just gone through the roof, transformed, because they're following this formula. Every single day, content, social media distribution, linking it back to the right pages. They do gyms and spas for people with millions of pounds in London. Their business has just gone through the
You
roof.
know, I think and I'd imagine quite a few people in the room suffer with the same problem. You get someone to design and build your website, and when you're not an expert in web, you expect these web designers to know what they're talking about, to optimise your site for all these things. But then when you go back to them half the time, some of them don't even
what we try and say, there is a translator. So basically, the web designer won't know. This is serious business consultancy. This is.
So that means we have to come to somebody like you,
or agencies who are. It's fundamentally what you're looking at is if there's a hologram between you and me, and it's got your mind and my mind, you'll have a fantastic website that's driving traffic, and you'll make a fortune. Well, you'll get significant business. You'll get leads. Okay. That usually takes time, so it's a process of exchange, and it's down to you to control your web designer, control your agency, to say, well, actually, this is what I do. You know, this is my core business. I do wills. I want wills to be reflected. These are the benefits. This is my point of differentiation. This is how I position myself, and I want business in the Birmingham area. They should be able to respond to that and give you a website that works. The challenge is that, as somebody alluded to, digital marketing is just this huge monster. And all we're saying is, after 35 years of understanding of working what works and what doesn't in marketing, applying it to the digital age and measuring everything that moves across clients, this works.
The problem is you don't know what you don't know. So you're employing a web developer who, so hopefully this workshop will give you some things that you weren't aware of that you can go back and talk to your developer about.
Don't go to any agency and expect them to know what your business is.
Yeah, you know your business.
We're Google partners. A mate of mine is a really significant Google partner. I happened to be lucky enough to go to a dinner with some god in Google in London. And I said, what's the biggest issue you've got with world generally? And he said, customers don't know what they want. Because you're here learning about digital marketing, because we've got a semblance of knowledge in digital marketing, we can sort of guide you, but you haven't got enough knowledge to ask the right questions.
And you don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. So workshops like this are going to help you. Google Garage in Birmingham, free advice, they'll help you. There's coming to more workshops like this, time's limited, but don't expect any agency to have the answer to everything, because it's a combination. I could drive wonderful traffic about accountancy in Scotland, and it's totally irrelevant to a guy who's in Perry Bar, and every other example you can think of off the back of that.
I know we've seen this slide before, but this reiterates the importance of mobile compatibility and site speed with your organic positioning. So, very, very quickly on this, because we are slightly running out of time. Backlinks, you could set up, have a news aggregator website such as this, where you post your social media on there, and then like and share everybody else's. That's just
You'll have SEO companies contacting you, talking old school stuff about backlinks. For a local business, with a site structured correctly, doing good content as we've alluded to, you don't need to worry about backlinks. What the next step is that we've developed this for our clients. We've got 2 business news and manufacturing news, and we'll post blogs on those sites and link back to their site in the same way you link back from a blog. That's about all we found we needed to do, because the weight of good, well-structured site, technically correct, with regular content, with a good site speed, far outweighs the old world of backlinks. Google are driving the world forward on a massive scale.
With backlinks, do they happen naturally, or do you have to integrate it?
Lots of people made lots of money scamming backlinks. Google didn't have the algorithms to stop them. They've got the algorithms to stop them now. So they tend to happen naturally. If you're distributing stuff on social media, Pinterest is very good, Twitter's very good. So if you're doing a core blog and you're distributing it across social media and a couple of other sites I could mention, that would be the natural backlink profile that Google would look for. So again, it's just a function of blogging with links. That's enough for a local business. If you're selling insurance, another mate of mine who's just won the award for the Google's top search partner in Europe, and his client's Aviva. And he knows this stuff beyond belief because they're dealing with millions and millions of keywords. And backlinks are important in that competitive space. For you, I promise you, if you blog regularly, you'll be fine. So that core proposition, and linking your keywords to your core proposition, defining what the word disabled or limited mobility is, whatever that correct word is, for your core proposition, and how you differentiate yourself from all those other customers that are above you, sorry, all those other companies that are above you, it's really important.
Just a quick example of here how we've achieved to dominate this page of Google with keywords, location, paid for listings, and organic. And then obviously you've got on the right hand side there the Google pack, which you can't control, but if your site's been optimised correctly and you haven't got anyone else there at the moment, you can grab that position as well, which is really useful. Sorry, yeah.
With those backlinks from
Yeah.
your blog into your main your relevant pages of the main
Yeah.
body of the site, do those have to include the keywords, or can it say click here, or as you can read about?
I'd link off the keyword. I wouldn't have to click here. Whatever the keyword is, I'd link off it.
Yeah.
So off the actual exact keywords that you.
So the keyword in the blog relates to the keyword on the page. Yeah.
You covered that.
Yeah, we've covered that bit really. Pay-per-click.
Right, so pay-per-click is the bit where you pay money to Google. Ring up Google. They've got a free phone number and say, I'd like to set up a Google campaign, please, and they'll do it for you. What I would do, though, is seriously limit your budget. You've got to remember, Google want you to spend money. So only do, to begin with, on limited keywords, no more than 5. 5 is about the minimum. So it'd be Mediterranean cafe in Harborne, Mediterranean coffee shop Harborne, or don't worry about Harborne, but just, and then have geography based around the 5-mile radius. Do it around your core proposition. So if you decide that Disability Holidays UK is your core term, then make sure that you do your AdWords based on that, or make sure the two align, and I'll show you why in a second. So you haven't got to spend lots and lots of money. Google will try and say, oh, you need 20 keywords, or you need all this. You don't. 5 keywords, local geography on your core proposition, and test it. See what happens when you come up. There's ways within the software of getting above your competition. There's things called negative keywords. So there are. This is where you probably, again, talk to Google about making sure you limit the geography and the importance of negative keywords. Because what will happen otherwise is if you're selling, if you go to China shop, you might get keywords related to China the country, and you're just paying loads of money to Google for companies wanting to market in China the country rather than selling China in Harborne. So when you're in Google, it's very important. They'll set the campaign up for you. Limited keywords, limited budget, and negative keywords are really important.
Can you cap it to, like you said, the 5-mile radius? Can you cap it to people that want within that zone, so you're not getting paid for clicks and people just keep clicking?
Yes, the guy I alluded to in America, we talk a lot, and they're a pain because they don't tell you that you should. There's a tab which says people searching in the area, so you do a 5-mile radius, but they'll still allow search outside the area unless you put a particular tab. So you probably do need to talk to an agency, talk to Google, go to the Google Digital Garage place in Birmingham, and I'm sure they'll really help you get started. As long as you minimum budget to begin with, £1 a day, £5 a day, nothing serious. Local area and negative keywords. They're the 3 things. When I say that flippantly, they're dealing with people spending millions a day, but they'll still work with you because they want to encourage you. So,
is a keyword like, for example, say disabled holidays or something like that? Are those combined a keyword, or is disabled and then?
So again, there's a thing called phrase match, exact match, and optimised or broad, and then there's optimised broad. So Google don't tell you how to do optimised broad, which is the best thing to do. It's another example of them wanting your money, sadly. Basically, you put a plus sign on the front of each keyword. So disability holidays, you put a plus sign for disability and a plus sign for holidays.
Oh, okay.
is what you do.
So
It's
that's
called a modified broad. If you do disability and holidays, you'll get everything to do with holidays, so you could get anything. And anything to do with disability, actually.
You mentioned Google Garage.
Yeah. It's a new street, I think. There's a shop.
It's advertised on the radio and the TV. It's free.
Okay. And is it New Street, is it?
I think so.
Yeah, it's on the industry.
Next to the bank.
If you just type in the search in Google, you'll tell you what.
But there's a point where using a Google partner does really help, because there are always better ways of doing it. You know?
And they're designed to help Google anyway.
Yeah.
Which I found.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've used these Google gurus, and you know, I had 700 clicks and I had no business.
Yeah.
Cost me a fortune.
I don't want to hang too much on Google now, because we want to cover off the how to measure return, and we are going to run out of time. So.
Okay. So this is what AdWords looks like. Google will set it up for you. There are plenty of agencies around who will do it for you. Other forms of pay-per-click, you've got Facebook ads, Twitter ads, Instagram, LinkedIn, all doing ads. Our experience, Google works massively more than the others. The others are very good at generating traffic to your site. So with limited budgets, with a limited amount of time, start with Google, is our experience. Use an agency or talk to Google. There's a phrase called idiot dollars, because idiot dollars, you just spent 700 clicks, cost you don't know how much, and you got nothing back. There's something that hasn't happened in the skills transfer between you and whoever you're using. For that to happen, you should get return from that.
There's a combination of both Google and an agency that was.
Then I'm surprised.
How would you know what best agency to use for Google?
There's a Google Partner Program. There's a Google Partner Program, and you can just type in a company local to you.
No guarantee.
How do you avoid idiots?
The first time I ever did this 20 odd years ago, it was chalked over. I spent 500 quid on the first day. I didn't have 500 quid to spend.
So many picking any business, get a referral from someone it's worked for.
Yeah, exactly. So this here is a tool within AdWords. You click on dimensions and you go to paid and organic. So you go into AdWords, you click dimensions, you click paid and organic, and it will show you when you've linked it correctly, all your paid traffic, all your organic traffic, and combined. Because when the two combine, so going back to Shin Washer Man, if Shin Washers just shows as an ad, he gets a certain amount of traffic. If Shin Washers shows organically, he gets a certain amount of traffic. If the two show together, his traffic is 5 to 10 times more. And that's the second key takeaway. Using that tool to combine paid and organic on the same page, when they appear both together, traffic goes through the roof. So if you can get Mediterranean Cafe to the top of a local search through blogging, and you use Google AdWords just for Mediterranean Cafe, you'll get 5 to 10 times more visitors by doing both than one or the other.
We've got about 20 minutes left for the Q&A. So.
Second takeaway, linking paid traffic to organic traffic around your core proposition, around what you do, will give you 5 to 10 times more traffic.
Remarks, I mentioned it earlier, nobody heard of it. Basically, when you've gone onto a website and gone away again, there's a way of knowing you've been on the website and following you around the internet with a series of little banner ads.
Yeah.
I know it works because at Christmas I was looking at some black boots on the John Lewis website, and I thought, no, I don't need them, don't want them. The next evening I had a gin and tonic, and this ad popped up for black boots, and I thought, do you know what, I do need them, and I bought them. So remarketing works. It works in business, it works in industry. Statistically, 99% of people will leave your website without buying. So if you can reiterate that you're there, you're more likely to convert. I'll show you a quick example of this. Independent, that's the client we've been looking at, the flooring company. Looks like they're advertising on the Independent, but actually they're not. It's my computer's remembered I've been on their website and it's delivering an ad. So remarketing, really effective, probably the most amazing advancement in digital marketing in recent years.
For somebody who has tested and measured everything for the last 35 years, I've never seen anything better than this. Every single one of you here should be doing remarketing using use Google AdWords. It's the best.
Yeah, so instead of an AdWords campaign, you can link remarketing on the back of your AdWords campaign.
Paid for.
Yeah, you pay for it, but it's cost. But what you get from it, it's relatively
But
cheap.
it's basically you're targeting someone who's already found your website, and then is thinking about it, but they keep seeing you all the time.
They follow you, follow you around.
Yeah.
Stalker.
So you've got to remember, we've got tens, if not hundreds of clients doing this, and every time we've implemented it, their business has increased, their traffic's increased, the quality of traffic's increased.
Is it expensive or?
No, it's very cheap. If you're not paying fees to an agency, using Google directly, probably £5 to £10 a month, I would have thought, based on what I suspect your traffic is. Because it's if you're getting 1,000 visitors a month, probably costs you £5 a month. But that impression is crucial because that ad is following that potential customer around the internet. You know, forget sales promotion mugs, forget sales promotion pens, forget billboards, people trying to get your brand across. You're hitting smack between the eyes people have already visited your website.
I used to see that all the time. It used to confuse me. Why am I keep being there? Why am I following them?
Yeah, we know that statistically it works. It's really, really
Is that better than blogging then?
You would
use
do
a
it
combination.
instead of, yeah.
There's three things we're recommending. So
Yeah.
do
What
a
we're trying to
combination.
get across here is a little bit of everything done properly is going to drive your business. Yeah.
Sorry, just quickly, is it impressions or per click that might be charged, or is there a choice again?
You'll charge per click, so the impression's free. So again, another little quick win. If you set up a LinkedIn campaign and you just do text ads, it's the equivalent of remarketing because no one ever clicks on a text ad, but you're getting the impression all the time. So we do that for most of our clients, where we'll set up remarketing on Google and then we'll do it on LinkedIn, just as a text ad. The problem with Google is, so with LinkedIn, is it's $8 a day, or probably £8 a day. So your risk is 240 quid. But I think it's cost us, the last 9 months, 116 quid for 700,000 impressions for businesses in the West Midlands.
Yeah.
Very, very powerful, very cost effective, and it works.
So that would be our third takeaway of the morning.
But social media, we're covering in the other workshop. Everyone gets massive hype on social media. 4 years ago, I went to a workshop with some guys who are real gurus now. Nicky Creel's an expert on Twitter. Tim Hughes launched his own agency, did run Oracle. Lots and lots of experience. All the online conversation is based around hashtags, pretty much. The effort, if you're blogging, the effort is finding out where your audience is. So again, going to harping on a bit, if you're the Mediterranean Cafe, all you want to do with Harbour is focus on the police request. You know, do hashtag Harbour, and you'll have police announcements, you'll have local radio announcements, you'll have hospital announcements, community-based stuff around Harbour. If you're doing that, using that hashtag, you're going to get found for all those searches relating to Harbour. If you're an accountant in Perry Bar, you're going to try and find out where the conversation is within a 5 mile radius of Perry Bar relating to accountancy. It's tough. Expedition Equipment, we've got a client who did this really successfully. So they're looking for overland travel, adventure safaris, adventure holidays. They're trying to find communities online whereby people are talking about getting in a Land Rover and driving to Africa. If they can participate in that conversation around the hashtags that are there, well, they do very well, they get business from it, we know. They post in Facebook communities based around not selling, just chatting about experiences and having case studies. Selling on social media or Twitter hours, I know people who get business from Twitter hours, but it's just broadcasting. This is who I am, this is what I do. You should be engaging in finding out who people are, find your audience online, and make sure that all your links work on your website. Because fundamentally, anyone who finds you on social media is going to go to your website. Well, 85% will. Make sure your icon's are top right for all the reasons we alluded to earlier. It's better to do something than nothing. So we do a lot of social media on behalf of our clients. We use the blog as the core, we distribute the blog. We'll distribute 1 or 2 blogs a month. We'll do the engagement for them, which is better than doing nothing. We also use content curation tools like Clouds and Paper.li. So those are tools whereby you type in what you're interested in, so coffee, and you'll get articles related to coffee or coffee shops, which you can post on your social media. It happens automatically.
What's it called? What's that?
Clouds and Paper.li. It's all about hashtag. It's finding out. It's not a quick fix. It's finding out where your audience is. It's finding out where the community, where's the conversation online, and engage with people.
Can you just quickly explain? I know what the symbol hashtag is.
Yeah,
What is the symbol? I don't understand how it ties into.
Right. So if you go to if you go to Twitter or Instagram and you type in hashtag digital agency, then all the posts relating to digital agency will come up.
Right.
All the posts. If you type in wills, all the posts relating to wills will come up, and you start to see what people are posting about wills. So there'll be people like you trying to sell to people, and there'll be people talking about getting stitched up by the government because they didn't have a will. And there's the whole online conversation that's going on, which is digital marketing on steroids. It's like networking. If you go to BNI or your network, you should be doing hashtags on social media. Just finding out what the conversation is online around your business. So there'll be conversations about limited mobility, there'll be about disability, there'll be all sorts of conversations that happen which you can tap into and engage with, and you're all the time you're making sure that you're hashtagging appropriate terms that you've found, which is it's like a conversation.
So it's a bit like a keyword search then, is it?
Yeah, it's a keyword search for the conversation that's happening online in your business.
Is it only on Twitter, or should you use
No.
it on blogs, Facebook and LinkedIn?
Again, yeah, it happens across the board, but it's what works for you. We found in offline businesses, business to business, very difficult to get it to work when you're doing it on behalf of a client. If you're prepared to do it yourself and put an hour a day into it, you'll do very well out of it. Because someone might start a conversation and we have to go to the client and say, they started a conversation, what should we say? It's just quite work. But that's better than nothing. Believe me, it's better than nothing.
I was going to say, how do you blog for somebody, but you said is that Clouds and Paper.li?
Yeah.
That's how you.
I'm going to touch very briefly on email marketing. Hands Up, who does email marketing at the moment? Yeah. Obviously, there's new GDPR legislation coming in next May, which you need to be aware of, data protection and that kind of thing. You'll be hearing more about that in the months to come.
Do you drive people back to your website?
Yeah.
Because if you're driving people back to your website and you're doing remarketing, you've got them.
Especially if you've just launched a new website, email them, say, just launched a new website, would you check it out for us? And then you remarket to them when they're being on the website. So obviously the remarketing needs to be set up before you send the email out, but that's a really good way of getting people to your website and then getting them back and driving the traffic that way. So
we can basically internet store them relatively cheaply.
Yeah.
So email marketing is good. Just something of perceived value. It's a lead generation tool. If you set up some autoresponders as well, if they respond to you, then it's another good way of driving traffic to your website and driving business. Video, again, just to touch on it. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world now. Obviously, we've got Tom here today doing some video content for us, which we will then chop up and use as content. We can have it transcribed for blogs. We can use it across social media on our website. So video is really, really effective. Quick plug for Tom, Flying Machine Media. If you've got any video needs, I'm sure Tom would be really happy to help. You can come through us and get his details, but it's very important in our world, which is why Tom's here today.
There's various stats flying around, but they reckon 80% of content 2018, 2019 is video. You can do loads of stunning stuff relating to video in your if you've got a retail outlet, for instance.
Yeah.
There was the last workshop we did here was a coach company, and they were about to start naming all of the coaches after Shakespeare because they're Midlands based, and then they were starting to get the drivers to do videos, just talking and stuff, just to get engagement going, just because video is so important as tool now, increasingly so.
Yeah, very much so.
Just a very quick question. As a starting point, because I know obviously with budget and stuff, you know, is it okay just go on the iPhone and do a quick videos and stuff like that, you know, and just post it and post it?
Yeah.
Natural stuff.
Okay, isn't it? It's,
Natural stuff can work.
Yeah.
As I'm sure Tom will agree, as well as professionally produced stuff.
Yeah, if you had a corporate video on your homepage and it was all wobbly and shaking amateurish, that's going to reflect you as a business.
Yeah,
so there's different methods and different uses. So, you know, a quick snapshot on social media, great. A professional video on your website, I would argue, needs to be professionally produced, so that horses for courses.